What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Lovers, where we talk all things sports. And it is game week for Atlanta United. The season is starting up really quickly. It starts on Saturday. MLS season is starting on Saturday. We're going to preview every game this weekend. We're going to talk about every game and talk about my picks for each game. There are a ton of games this weekend in the MLS. It's a great weekend if you're an MLS fan as the season kicks off this weekend. Two really good games this weekend, though. LAFC and LA are playing. LA Galaxy are also playing this weekend. That's going to be a good game. We're going to talk about some of the acquisitions Atlanta United had, some of the losses that Atlanta United had, and preview the rest of the MLS season. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop right into it, as we got a ton of games to predict. Going off of last season as well, Atlanta didn't make the playoffs, and we do need to make the playoffs, so let's just hop right into it. Alright, so the first game of the weekend, it is on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Nashville is taking on New York City. I expect New York City to win this game. I believe both of them were in the playoffs, I want to say. But I expect New York City to take the win up here on the road against Nashville. I just think it's time for the upset. And yeah, New York City is going to take the win here. Moving on to DC United hosting the Toronto FC at Audi Field. It's going to be a really good game. I believe DC United will take the dub here at home. DC has always looked good, and usually has looked good in their openers, and I expect that to happen this week as well. Moving on, Philadelphia Union, the top seed in the MLS, is taking on the Columbus Crew, and I believe Philly is going to come out hot. They will be the number one team in the Eastern Conference again. They will be that team to beat this year. Once again, coming off of that MLS number one playoff seed last year, I believe it was. I think they made it to the final and lost. I expect that to continue this year, and I expect Philadelphia to be really good as well. Moving on, we have Orlando City SC taking on the New York Red Bull. I expect Orlando to have a bounce back year this year, and I expect Orlando to get the win against New York, take the upset at home against New York. I just think it's time for Orlando to start getting good. This year might be a make or break for Orlando. And yeah, I expect Orlando to take the dub here at home. Moving on is FC Cincinnati hosting Houston. Now, I don't know much about these teams. The Houston Dynamo is a newly added team to the MLS. One of my friends is a really big Cincy fan. They always watch every single game. I'm going to take Cincy here. It is at home. It's their season opener coming off of last year as well. Cincy made the playoffs, and they were really good in the latter half of the year. I expect that to continue going in forward for the newer part of this year as well. Moving on to the Atlanta United, their season opener, we are taking on San Jose. I expect us to win this. This is at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's at home. Rally behind the fans. The Five Stripes need to get the dub here. I expect us to have a bounce-back year and make the playoffs, if you know what I mean. I think we will easily make the playoffs this year. We lost Joseph Martinez, but we still signed some really good, talented, young core people. I expect this year to make the playoffs, give it a year to, I guess you would say, rebuild, and then next year we will be back at the top is when I expect us to be back at the top. Atlanta United takes the dub here against San Jose at home, 7:30 kickoff time. Can't wait to watch the season opener for Atlanta United. Can't wait. Moving on, Inter Miami is hosting Montreal. I expect Inter to get the dub. Inter's always been one of those teams where you have that easy game, but I expect them to come out hot. I expect Inter to get the W here at home. Obviously, it's in Miami. Inter is one of the leading favorites to sign Joseph Martinez. I read that somewhere today. I expect them to sign Joseph Martinez, and they are rumored to get Lionel Messi as well. But we will have to wait and see on that. If he comes to the United States, every game will be sold out. And I just can't wait to see if Messi will come to the United States and play in the MLS for one of his last years as a professional footballer. Moving on, Charlotte FC and New England. I expect New England to take the dub on the road. New England has always been a team that Atlanta United struggles with, and as a team that's always been really good, really one of the better bottom half teams in the league. I expect New England to take the dub against Charlotte FC this week and on Saturday, and they will come out hot. I expect that to happen. Moving on, FC Dallas and Minnesota. I will say a 0-0 draw is definitely likely here. I don't know much about these two teams, so I'm just going to say a 0-0 draw. Moving on, Austin FC and St. Louis City. I believe Austin FC will take the dub at home, 1-0, hopefully, maybe a 0-0 draw as well. A lot of these games are going to be 0-0 or 1-0. I don't expect a ton of high-scoring games, but I do expect a bunch of close games, 0-0, 1-0. Moving on to the big game of the day, the one that I am really most excited for, LAFC versus LA Galaxy. Both of these two clubs are going to be super hot, and I can't wait to watch both of these two clubs, see how they're performing at the start of the year. These have always been the top contenders in the league. They've always really made the playoffs. I expect that to continue this year. I expect LAFC 2-1 to get the dub on the road against LA Galaxy, so hopefully that will set up a better matchup later in the year. I expect LAFC to get the dub 2-1 at home. Moving on to 3 more games is all we have left. Vancouver and Real Salt Lake. I expect Salt Lake to get the dub here on the road against Vancouver. I don't know much about these two teams. I'm going to just say 1-0. Salt Lake City will take the dub here. Moving on, you have Portland FC and the Sporting Kansas KC. Now, Portland did just lose McKinney, I believe. I think it was McKinney from the U.S. He is now part of the Premier League. He signed with a Premier League deal, and I expect that to not be a factor, though. I expect Portland to continue to be good. They've always been really, really good, and I expect Portland to keep doing the same thing here. Moving on to the last game of the week, Seattle and Colorado. I expect Colorado to lose and Seattle to win. It is in Seattle, and I expect the Sounders to always be really, really good. They are always one of the favorites coming out of the year. I expect that to continue, and I expect Seattle to get the W here. But yeah, that is going to be all for the MLS predictions and season preview for Atlanta United. Cannot wait to watch some Atlanta United games, see what we're working with for the teams. I know I will be watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the predictions down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn that bell on. We do post daily content as well. And I just expect Atlanta United to be much better than they were last year. But let me know in the comments what you think of the picks. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and peace.